Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us this beautiful morning. I will tell you one thing, it's a lot warmer than it was when I was here in the middle of winter to do a storm event to talk about how we were handling the ice on the roads. But so it is a beautiful day. A little bit of noise in the background, but that's intentional because we wanted to show you that all those vehicles on the LIE are moving smoothly. They're not getting stuck in potholes. I want to first of all thank our incredible, hardworking, dedicated Commissioner of DOT, Commissioner Dominguez, who has done an extraordinary job and just embraced her role to really just champion the cause of our communities, making sure that they are connected, that they have the resources they need, and that we take care of some of the most basic needs, and that is to take care of our roads and our potholes. Also want to introduce Assemblymember Taylor Dowling, and I'll be mentioning why she's here in particular, a conversation we had that led to this day, and I want to thank her as well. I also want to give credit to our President, Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, and all the members of Congress who actually voted for infrastructure dollars that we're able to use here today. I think that's critically important. So last time I was here, we were talking about auto thefts and the theft of catalytic converters just earlier this week, because that's one of the main drivers of property crimes. But it's also, as we talk about car owners and what they have to deal with, it's not just having the threat of your vehicle stolen, it's also the additional costs that come from repairs when you have damage done to your vehicle because of potholes. So I'm here to announce that we're making progress. I really conveyed my disdain for potholes in even my State of the State address. And I know this road, I know this community, I know this entire state because as Lieutenant Governor, I traveled over 370,000 miles on our roads. And so I've had a personal encounter with just about every pothole that's out there. And when I come to Long Island, many times you have had some of the worst. And I said, literally 6 months ago today, we made a commitment that we would work hard, we deploy the resources, the teams, the hardworking men and women of the DOT and our private union friends who helped us get the job done. But I said, we can do this and do it quickly. So here we are to make an announcement. We've made tremendous progress. And I want to mention again why Taylor Dowling is here. I was speaking to her last fall, I think it was, and I said, where are you? There's a lot of noise there. She says, well, I'm in a tire repair shop because I just had an encounter, or a family member had an encounter with a pothole. We have over $500 worth of damage, and it isn't the first time. And I said right then, we're going to fix those. We're coming after them. We're going to say no family should have to endure the stress and the additional cost, especially when everything is going through the roof and we're concerned about rising costs in groceries and in gas. Unfortunately, the gas will start coming down now, but you don't need this. People don't need that grief. They don't need to have to dish out that kind of money because of something that they didn't have anything to do with. It was just a failure of infrastructure on our highways. So we announced a $1 billion Pave Our Potholes plan in my State of the State. It was one of the most applauded things I did for people who live in communities like this. It's a 5-year program to allocate over $500 million for local roads and also $500 million for state roads. We're partnering with our local governments as well. They're not all on state highways. We feel a responsibility, and I appreciate this coming out of local government for 14 years, that the state actually is helping the local governments have the funds they need to get this done. So I'm proud to announce that the completion of our $80 million project to resurface the Long Island Expressway from the Nassau-Suffolk border to Route 112 in Suffolk County. As I mentioned, we announced this 6 months ago. I am delighted that we are literally 1 month ahead of schedule. And I want to commend you for being so persistent, Commissioner Dominguez, and your team in getting this job done. That's how I like to do it. You can tell me 6 months, you can tell me 7 months. I'm going to say, okay, I know we can shave off some time there, and you announced that as well. We're also announcing we're completing the third of 3 major Southern State Parkway resurfacing projects, over 121 lane miles, and overall new asphalt on over 442 lane miles all across Long Island just in this year, just since the season started. So Southern State, the LIE, finishing these projects, but it's more than that. It's also, as I mentioned, we have a responsibility to fix our deteriorating roads. These are those quality of life issues that people talk about. And as I come to Long Island constantly, travel the state, when I'm here, I hear so much about our love for the islanders, property taxes, and potholes. And I can't help the islanders. I hope they have a great season, but I know there's at least 2 areas we can help out, and also property taxes by getting more money to our school districts so they have the ability to reduce their taxes. But right now, because of deteriorating roadways, New Yorkers' roadway conditions result in over $7 billion in additional operating costs, and 1 out of 10 U.S. drivers have suffered vehicle damage. Average New Yorker spends $632 because of road damage a year on their vehicles, money that they'll never get back. So as our families and our motorists getting hit with rising costs, we decided it's time to turn our potholes into knotholes. So since I took office, we've awarded $1.3 billion in capital work across the state, improving over 3,100 miles, and that impact is over $2.3 billion. We're making thousands and thousands of miles, over 4,000 lane miles improvements. So we're going to continue. I'm just here to say, got the job done. I commend everybody who had a role in this. This is incredible, an historic investment. More money has been spent just this past year to take care of a problem that has been long associated with Long Island, and no more will we tolerate substandard roads or potholes on our highways. So if you're going to use the roads, we're going to maintain them, and that's exactly what we're going to keep doing. With that, Commissioner Dominguez, I want to thank you for being the leader that we needed when I said, right in this spot 6 months ago, let's get the job done, and you did it. So congratulations, and let's hear from a great Commissioner, Mary Trace Dominguez.
All right, good morning. Thank you very much, Governor. It's always great to be with you on any occasion, winter, summer, spring. And Assemblymember Darling, thank you very much for your advocacy for your community and for infrastructure and infrastructure investment. Governor, I remember being here with you this past spring, as you referenced, in April, in fact, and it was a pretty rough winter out here on Long Island. We did quite a few storm engagements, one actually right here. But in April, you were announcing a bold plan to renew and repave the Long Island Expressway and other roadways here on the island, including the Southern State Parkway. And here we are, talking about completion in October, as you said, exactly 6 months later to the day. And people all over Long Island can truly see how these investments that you've made and the Assembly and the Senate in funding all of this, along with the Governor, are truly, truly paying off. So I'm happy to say that DOT's $80 million resurfacing project here in Long Island is one of the largest paving projects that New York State has ever undertaken. And now it's complete. But we don't stop there. We're continuing work. We're still investing this season alone. We hope to wrap up our work on the Southern State Parkway later on this week. And so far, DOT has placed over 442 lane miles of new asphalt on our state's roads all across Long Island. That's a $120 million investment. That's literally thousands of potholes that I know the Governor has driven so many miles on. Those potholes are being filled with fresh asphalt in literally half a year. Truly. I want to say, first and foremost, a huge thank you. A thank you to the men and women of the New York State DOT who work on these projects from every level. Our operations and maintenance folks, the people that are out there, literally they're here with us today. Our contractors, our brethren in labor, they're the ones that actually make this stuff happen. They're out there keeping our roads safe for us every single day. And we're truly, truly grateful for their efforts. And we understand that this work can be disruptive, right? We're out there, we want to fix the roads. So we really appreciate the patience, certainly of Long Islanders, as we work to fix the roads. We really appreciate you all for keeping our workers safe while we do that. Governor Hochul, you have a great story to tell on Long Island, one that's been repeated in every region of New York State this year, because you put forth the most historic and largest investment in New York State DOT's history, a 5-year capital plan at $32.8 billion. This also includes $1 billion, as you said, for the Pave Our Pothole initiative, which consists of $500 million that go to local governments and $500 million to the state. And we work in partnership to leverage those dollars as best we can. We know that New York State's busiest highways are here in and around Long Island and New York City. And it's essential that we do everything we can to ensure that they're safe and that they're reliable. Across New York State, between the time Governor Hochul took office and through the end of this year, more than 3,700 lane miles of roads will be resurfaced. That's a lot of roadway to cover. It's really a tremendous achievement, and again, I thank the men and women of the DOT. But this expeditious executing of paving projects truly exemplifies, Governor Hochul, your commitment to enhancing our state's roads. And the results are a smoother driving experience, less aggravation, especially for commuters, truckers, everybody trying to get to work and deliver our goods and services. So, for the last 6 months, we've been at it. Governor talked about the projects that we've undertaken. And this week, we're going to continue to complete those resurfacing projects, totaling over 121 miles on the southern state. We've done a lot of issues, and we know that, and it's a continuous process to renew and enhance our roadways. But I want to let you know, DOT is on it. We're going to get it done, and we greatly appreciate your leadership. Thank you. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your commitment to truly connecting communities in all manner of ways, and to truly live what you say, which is help improve the quality of life for all New Yorkers. And you do this through strategic investments in resilient transportation and in our infrastructure. And we know that this is just one element of your bold and bright vision for all of New York. So thank you very much. Thank you, Assemblymember Darling. Greatly appreciate your partnership as always, and look forward to continuing to work with you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Assemblywoman Taylor Darling, and I proudly represent the 18th Assembly District here in Nassau County. I also am a member of the Transportation Committee in the New York State Assembly, and I don't think anyone's more excited to be here, except maybe the governor, than I am, because potholes are a major issue here in our state. I first want to thank our commissioner for all of your hard work. I want to thank all of the hardworking women and men in the Department of Transportation, and I want to thank our amazing governor, who is what we need right now in the state of New York. She is an action figure. We do not need political figures, we need action figures. She heard the cries that I conveyed to her from my constituents, people who have hit a pothole and been unable to pay their rent and their mortgage because they had an unforeseen cost that we really could have been more responsible for. And there are no excuses now. We are making those changes, and it's because we have the leadership that we have. Governor, I thank you so much on behalf of all of New York State, but especially our hardworking Long Islanders who fight hard to stay here every single day with the rising cost. So I want to thank you all for being here. We wish you a very safe and smooth ride home. Thank you very much.